Congratulations, you finished the draft of your essay. Now comes the hard part, revising and editing. Revising and editing are two things that have to be done in order for your paper to look its best when you turn it in. This module goes over a lot of different ways to revise and look at the big picture items in your essay, and to edit looking at some of the smaller picture items.
So now you've got your essay written. You've written a great introduction where you've hooked the reader. You've written 3 good body paragraphs that help support your thesis, and that you've written this really good conclusion that ends the essay on a strong note. And now you're done, right? Not so fast. We have to look at how we can revise and edit the essay. I'm really going to focus in this module on telling you how to revise and edit for the time situation that you'll be in on the test. You may only have 10 minutes to revise the paper and edit it. So let's look at some of the big things and the small things that you should look at quickly. Naturally, if you had more time to look at your essay, let's say you had a week to revise, it would be a lengthier process. You could walk away from the essay, you could come back to it and say, I am going to edit for grammar today. I'm going to look at my comma usage. Tomorrow it might be subject-verb agreement. The next day I'm going to edit for this or this. So you have a lot more time and you can take your time through the stages. But in this case, you only have a few minutes. So let's see how you can make the most of your time on the test, revising and editing. So revising is looking at the big picture. It focuses on the content of the essay. And the Latin from revid, it really means to see again. So we're trying to look at this essay again. And when we see it again, here are the things we should be looking at. Big picture stuff. Does the essay have a thesis? You laugh and you say, of course I have a thesis. I went through that module and I know how to write a thesis. But there are lots of essays that instructors and professors read, and we notice that the essay just is missing a thesis. So make sure you have a thesis. Do your main points relate or go back to the thesis? Does each paragraph have a topic sentence? It is important to make sure each one of those main ideas and the main points that you made goes back to the topic sentence or the thesis and is incorporated in the topic sentence. Do the supporting details in the paragraph support the topic sentence? Make sure that there's no stray details. Everything has to go back to the topic sentence. And do you have enough supporting details in the body paragraph? So if you write 3 body paragraphs and they're really good and 2 of them are 4 to 6 sentences long, and then there's one that's maybe 2 or 3 sentences, look again. Maybe I need more details. I haven't described enough, or I haven't given enough support for what's in that paragraph. Stylistically, you need to be aware of your audience. You'd be surprised how many times professors read papers and some of the things that are in there are offensive, or students use language that's inappropriate. Be aware of your audience. These are people who are going to be looking at your paper. So you want to make sure that you really write on an academic, collegiate level where you're using good word choice and things like that. And then flow. Your essay should go from one idea to the next with transitions. We talked a lot about transitions when we were talking about how to do the body paragraphs, and I can't underscore that enough. It really helps the flow. And the flow really means, can I read your essay through, or does it seem like every time I get to a new paragraph, it's just, and here's the next paragraph, and here's the next paragraph. You want it to just flow naturally. Editing is looking at the smaller issues. So we said global, we looked at the whole world. Now we're looking at small things. Houston is a very small dot on the big globe. So that's why I put the picture in. We're focusing on the smaller issues. Word choice, usage, grammar, punctuation, these types of things. So look at the essay and read it slowly as individual sentences if you have the time to do that. So just look sentence by sentence and say, okay, that one looks good, this one looks good, this one looks good. The other thing to do is look for one type of error at a time. And we talked about that earlier. I mean, you can look at spelling, then grammar, then punctuation, but it means you're going to have to proofread and edit the paper a few times. If you had more time, this is the way to do it. And in fact, if you had more time, not only am I looking at grammar, but I'm looking at specific parts of grammar. I'm looking at specific punctuation. So you might not have that opportunity in a timed essay. So go through it as best you can. That's why I say reading the essay slowly as individual sentences may be your best option. And again, take your time. Take a short break between tasks if time allows.